show some teams that they could play some basketball. I'm sure Auburn knows that from last night, but they want to prove to themselves that they could be a basketball team to be reckoned with. Robin Doyle on the right side. Out front to Johnson. Johnson looking around, finally left side to Ballard. Ballard and Johnson playing catch. Oh, stolen by Boucher. A whistle on the play, and they're going to call a foul on, I believe, number 30, Cassie Boucher. That's her first of the night. So Shane's first and the team's first in the early going. Kathy had 3 coming into halftime last night, but ended up not fouling out. Dale Garvin fouled out with 18 and a half minutes to go in the game in regulation time on a mistake by Coach Floor. Now pass underneath to Robin Doyle. She lays it up. It won't fall. Rebound underneath, controlled by the Catamounts. With it, Johnson, she throws up a shot, but beforehand she was traveling, and the Huskies get the ball on the turnover.
UConn has a height advantage, so they're going to be looking for those rebounds. That's where they need to establish their control.
Connecticut's ball. Boucher taking a shot from 20. It's off the rim. No good. Rebound underneath by Nardoni. She can't hit. Vermont takes the ball and brings it the other way. Ballard racing down the court up 4-on-1 against Vincent. She goes all the way in on her, but she misses the layup. Rebound batted around, and coming up with it is number 44, Chris Gedney for the Connecticut Huskies. Gedney hands it over to Machine, and the blue machine is running. Left side to Nardoni. Into Dale Garvin at the high post, right side to Gedney. Gedney jumper from 20, bang! The Huskies are up 4-0. And they're pressing. A 1-2-1-1 full court zone press with the ball. Heather Bain cross court pass to Ballard, the dribbling point guard. Ballard getting trapped, whistle, and we're going to call a timeout for the Vermont Catamounts. So, timeout early here at Alumni Court with the score UConn 4, Vermont nothing. We'll be back right after this.
Outside it's dark and cold. Inside you're sleeping warm. Now the clock strikes 6. It's time for the With Your Line Wake Up Show. Every Monday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. wake up with With Your Line. Music, news, sports, and weather. Happenings and other UConn information on the With Your Line Show. Mondays 6 to 9 a.m.
Darak, along with Nancy Amols from Alumni Court. The Connecticut Huskies lead the Vermont Catamounts by a score of 4-0 with 18 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half.
Chris Gedney has proven again and again her outside shooting abilities, her defensive ability. Right now, she's got 318 points for UConn in total on this year. She's only a junior. In fact, UConn has got, with the exception of Beth Vincent, no seniors on the squad, so they'll be looking strong next year. With Linda Nardoni coming back a sophomore, she also is a great outside shooter.
As a matter of fact, all 4 teams in the tournament have many freshmen playing for them, and I think Beth Vincent could be one of the few seniors out of all 4 teams. It's a very young tournament. And Coach Wanda Flores said she wanted to bring some upcoming teams in here. Next year she hopes to get a top 20 contender. Right now with the ball, number 4, Linda Ballard of the Vermont Catamounts. She passed it over to Doyle. Doyle back to Ballard. Jumper from the top of the key. No good. Rebound underneath Vermont. Shot up and no good by Fernandez. And Vermont controls the offensive rebound one more time, and the Huskies are going to be in trouble if they can't do something underneath those boards. Now the ball is battled for on the ground. It's still a loose ball. Vermont comes up with it, but the head of, I believe it's number 21, Linda Johnson. No, it's number 42, Heather Baden, was on the end line. She was out of bounds, and Connecticut will take control of the ball.
Dale Garvin made a real nice steal on that. One of the Vermont players is going for a shot, and she just managed to bat it right down.
Connecticut misses a shot. Ballard takes the ball, dribbles behind her back, and starts Vermont rolling. She picks up her dribble looking to the right to get it to Johnson. She finally does so, and Johnson will take the top of the key and take control in the forecourt. Johnson to Ballard. Ballard looking around. There's no movement at all at the Vermont offensive side. Back to Doyle. Back to Ballard. Long jumper, and Ballard, the southpaw, hits. UConn 4, Vermont 2. And Connecticut has the ball with 17 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first half. We're in the early going here, and Connecticut's up by 2. Shane dribbling across half court. Right side to Gedney. Gedney pulls up. Jumper from 20. Bang! And UConn's up by 4. That basket kept the net up, hanging on the rim. We have a referee's whistle to bring the net down, and Vermont will take the ball out. Johnson looking to get the ball in. Finally does so to Bain. Baden, 6'3" freshman center out of Burlington, Vermont, finally gets it over to Ballard and around to Johnson. So Johnson dribbles across half court with relatively ease. She passed to Ballard, left corner jumper, and she hits. And UConn is up by 2, 6-4. Ballard, who averages 12 points coming into tonight's game, only scored 9 last night, is doing a good job here in the early going. She has all 4 points. Right side, Getty drives, can't connect, rebound underneath. Nardoni, she puts it up no good, and Vermont comes down with the rebound after that, and they'll take the ball and take control. Vermont's ball, Ballard has it. Looking to set up a play, right side, over to Doyle, back to Ballard. Left side to Johnson. Perimeter passing, looking underneath. Johnson dribbles up, looks to shoot, doesn't do so, gets to the high post of Baden, turn around, pass to Ballard, almost picked off, but controlled by Doyle. Doyle hands it off to Ballard, and she'll start it up. 4 seconds left on the 30-second clock. Wide open underneath is Johnson, and she misses the layup. Rebound battle for underneath. We have a whistle and a foul called on the play.
That was a good call by the ref. There's a lot of moving going around underneath the basket, a lot of pushing, and the ref finally had to call that on someone. Just lucky it happened to be over on Vermont.
Foul called on Lisa Fernandez, the team's first. Scoreboard mistakenly has UConn with 2 fouls. But I can't believe Linda Johnson was wide open with 3 seconds left on that 30-second clock. She almost had an easy layup. Connecticut's ball. Boucher from 20, it's deep and no good. Rebounded underneath by Doyle. She loses control. It goes out of bounds, and Connecticut will take the ball right back. Connecticut up in the early going by 2. Vermont, who comes into this game averaging only about 40 points a game. Before Heather Baden came around, they only averaged 37 points, but they managed to get 70 versus the first team they played, Dominican, and since then they've been averaging about 50. UConn misses a shot, whistle on the play, and a foul is going to be called on the Lady Huskies on number 30. Boucher, it's her second, so she's in a little bit of foul trouble with 15 and a half minutes to go in the first half. 2 team fouls on the Huskies, 1 on the Catamounts. Ballard with the ball for Vermont. Knocked out of bounds by Gedney, and Vermont will keep control.
Boucher should keep herself out of foul trouble. Next to Chris Gedney, she was a top scorer in last night's game. She's real important to UConn's offense, and though they have to play aggressively, she's now got to watch out.
Vermont has the ball. Ballard taking it out. UConn still pressing. They haven't been able to steal the ball off the press. They get it in with relative ease to Heather Baden. They try to break the press and do so. They get it to Doyle. Doyle passes back to Ballard, and she dribbles past half court on 5 Huskies. She turns around, jumper, no good. Rebounded underneath by Fernandez. She cans that one, and the score is tied at 6 apiece. And UConn is not getting any defensive rebounds in the early going, and Vermont's having 2 and 3 shots at the basket. Gedney on the right side, whistle on the play, and a foul to be called on Linda Johnson, the 5'7" junior guard out of Fort Kent, Maine. For Johnson, that's her first foul, the team second, and both teams have 2 fouls. Gedney inbounds the ball, hands it over to Boucher. Boucher back to Gedney. Gedney turns around, looks to shoot. She doesn't do so. She goes between 2 Vermont players, tries to pass it out to Boucher, but it's stolen by Ballard. Picked up and around, and Nardoni finally comes up with it, but there's a whistle and a travel. Nice hustling play by Nardoni. She tried to re-steal that ball from Vermont, but Vermont gets control of it after all on the Nardoni travel.
Vermont, Linda Ballard, who just stole the ball, she is the overall leader in individual steals with 5 so far in the year. Now she's got 6.
Baden with the ball, across to Ballard, and Vermont brings it across, again with no fouls. Doyle in the corner, back out to Ballard. Ballard not dribbling, holding the ball high overhead, finally dribbles to the top of the circle and back on the left side to Doyle. Doyle, long jumper, bang! And the Catamounts are up by 2, 8-6.
UConn is totally taken by surprise. I think they were a little bit overconfident. Vermont being 1-4 that came in. Even though they had a tough loss last night, they kept it close. And right now they're showing that Nardoni not so easy.
Nardoni from the foul line. She hits, and UConn's tied up at 8. And UConn is still pressing. Ballard with the ball for Vermont. She hands it over to Johnson, and Johnson trying to break it herself, trying to dribble up the court, left side, trapped by 2 Huskies, trying to go between them, stolen by Boucher, and back to Gedney on the right side. 1-on-2, Gedney pulls up, bang! UConn 10, Vermont 8, 13 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. Vermont controls the ball. Ballard had it, but she was fouled unintentionally by Linda Nardoni. The team's third and Nardoni's first. And Vermont UConn will take possession of the ball on the far court side in front of their own bench. Ballard with the inbounds play. Gets it into Linda Johnson. UConn falling back into their defense. Left side to Doyle. Doyle looking to drive, pulls up, gives it over to Johnson. Johnson far outside. Back to Doyle on the left. Cross-court pass for Ballard. It's stolen by Garvin, and UConn will take the ball the other way. Kathy Bouchane leading them on the run. Left side to Linda Nardoni. Long-range jumper. She can't hit. Rebound battle for underneath, and the blue comes up with it. Dale Garvin. She's wide open in the corner. She gets it out to Bouchane at the foul line, and Bouchane hits, and UConn's up by 4, 12-8.
Beth Vincent made that whole play possible. She blocked the shot.
Steal by Nardoni. Nardoni back again. He gets a 2-on-3 break, and there's going to be a foul called on the play. Nice play by Linda Nardoni as Vermont tried to put a half-court pass on the inbounds. Nardoni came up with it, and it's going to be a foul called on Lisa Fernandez, her second, and the team's third. Sorry to interrupt you there, Nancy.
That's okay. Beth Vincent made a fine play that set up that last UConn basket. Although she didn't get credit for the block, Dale Garvin came up with the ball after she blocked the view of a Vermont player.
Kennedy dribbles in on the left side, and she is fouled again by Lisa Fernandez. So Fernandez in a little bit of foul trouble. She has 3. There's 12 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the first half. And already Fernandez, who this year only averages 6 points a game, and last night, if I can check the record, scored only 3, is in foul trouble with 3. UConn inbounds the ball, was off Vermont's foot, and UConn will get a second chance at it. Connecticut 12, Vermont 8. Kathy Bouchane taking the ball in. She gets underneath the Garvin, wide open layup, and she hits it. Huskies up by 6, 14-8, and they're still pressing. Ballard with the ball for Vermont. She's dribbling with her left hand on the left side. Crosses over to her right hand as she crosses half court. Over to Johnson with the pass. Over to the top of the circle to Fernandez. Fernandez pass on the left side of Doyle. Long jumper, no good. Rebounded Johnson for Vermont. Whistle on the play and a foul. Number 32, Beth Vincent. Her first of the game and the team's 4th.
Last night from the foul line, UConn had a really good night. The first half they had a 46.2 percentile. Second half they came back for a phenomenal 68.4 percentile to come out with a 59.4 average over the game. So that's going to be a good factor in tonight's game, definitely.
Allard at the high post. Long jumper, southpaw hits. 14-10. Even though UConn shot 59% from the floor, on the floor thinks that's where they lost the game. They only lost by 1, and whenever you lose by 1, it's those foul shots. Nardoni from 20, bang, she hits. 16-10, Huskies up by 6. Clock moving with 12 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game. Excuse me, in the first half. Boy, if the game was over this fast, we'd be in trouble.
16-10 final score.
Johnson, left side to Doyle. Doyle, long jumper, no good. Rebound foul for underneath. Vincent coming up with it. She cannot save it. Her foot was on the line, and Vermont will keep control of the ball. Checking into the game for Vermont, and for Lisa Fernandez, who is laden with 4 fouls, is number 15, Annette Bergeron. Bergeron is the co-captain along with Grace Christie. Christie not starting tonight. And so both co-captains were on the bench at the beginning of the game. Johnson over to Ballard. Vermont controls the ball. UConn in what seems like a 2-1-2 zone defense. Johnson, right side, cross-court pass to Doyle. Jumper, no good. Rebound, Vincent. And UConn turns around. Her pass is stolen underneath for Johnson, and her layup is up. And before she shot it, she traveled, and Connecticut will take the ball back on their side.
Vermont doesn't seem to have a very balanced scoring potential. Linda Ballard has 8 of their 10 points so far, with Robin Doyle only having the other 2. But very few other players even taking any shots. They seem to give the ball to Ballard mostly, and because she is the most successful.
Connecticut's ball and an offensive foul called against Kathy Bouchane. Bouchane played very well last night. Right now she has 3 fouls, and I'm sure one on the floor is going to go to her bench. I see Susie Sturman taking off her sweatpants, getting ready to go in. Connecticut 16, Vermont 10, 11 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. Vermont's ball, Johnson, left side, looking underneath, gives it over to Ballard. Right side, Ballard looking to shoot. She dribbles once, looks to shoot again. Garvin all over. Garvin and Nardoni all over, but a foul is going to be called on Garvin. That's going to be her first of the game. And checking into the game for the Huskies is Susie Sturman in for Kathy Bouchane.
Dale Garvin was all over Linda Ballard that time. That foul was a good call.
Well, that's the 16 foul for the Huskies, 4 for the Catamounts at the moment. Ballard taking the ball in for Vermont. She passes to Linda Johnson, and Johnson will go against the 2-1-2 zone. Right side to Bergeron. Bergeron back out to Johnson, and all the way across to Ballard on the left side. Ballard, long jumper from 25. No good. Rebound foul for underneath. Vincent comes up with it for UConn, but she's fouled on the play. She was hacked by Linda Ballard. And UConn, since there's only 5 fouls, will take possession of it underneath the Vermont basket. For Ballard, that's foul number 1. She's a 5'6" freshman guard out of Heinsberg, Vermont. She took her high school in at Champlain Valley Union. Vincent with the ball on the right side. Over to Sturman and around to Nardoni. Left side to Getty, and they're passing it around the perimeter looking for an outside shot. Sturman. Right side and underneath to Garvin. Garvin can't control the ball, and Vermont has it. Linda Ballard across half court, 2-on-2 break. She pulls up, gives it on the left side, but it looks like there was a travel, and they're going to call it travel. Travel by Annette Bergeron. She took about 3 or 4 steps.
At least, yeah, at least.
And UConn will control the ball. If you weren't with us earlier, the Connecticut male basketball team defeated McNeese State 73-69. They are now with a record of 11 wins and 4 losses. Back to live play. UConn with the ball. Sturman, right side to Getty. Getty looking to drive, pulls up, right side to Vincent along the baseline. It falls, and Connecticut's up by 8. Their largest margin of the game by a score of 18-10.
UConn's looking good on their scoring drives. They're hitting a lot of outside shots that they've had trouble in the past.
Bergeron at the high post, left side to Ballard. Ballard looking to shoot, dribbles around, tries to get underneath. Knocked away by Nardoni, but controlled by Bergeron of Vermont. Bergeron over to Ballard, but knocked out of bounds by Getty. A good hustling defensive play, and Vermont will take it in front of the UConn bench. 9 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the first half. Connecticut 18, Vermont 10. Ballard inbounds it to Johnson, who almost loses the ball. Left corner to Ballard. The southpaw jumper, no good. Rebound underneath by Beth Vincent. She gets it out to Sturman. The Huskies will be running, but it's stolen by Ballard the other way. Sturman making a mistake she usually does not make. And before she drives, there's going to be a foul called. Or is it a foul?
Offensive foul.
Offensive foul. It looked like they were going to call it on Linda Nardoni, but instead they call it on Heather Bainan, who was away from the play. She must have set an illegal pick, a running pick, screening a UConn player, and that's going to be team foul number 6 for the Catamounts, as the Huskies already have attained 16 fouls themselves. Connecticut's ball. Sturman left side. Cross-court pass to Getty on the right corner. Jumper, bang! Connecticut 20, Vermont 10. Chris Getty putting in 2 clutch points for the Huskies, which gives her thus far on the night 4.
8 points.
8 points, excuse me. Timeout on the court. With the score, the Connecticut Huskies 20, the Vermont Catamounts 10. Let's pause for this timeout.
Wolfie Show, Tuesdays from 6 to 9 on WHUS.
Okay.
You're looking for good rock and roll to keep you going through the early morning hours? You can find me on the Rock Before Dawn Show, Tuesday mornings from 3 to 6. My name is Don Best, and I'll get you through those pre-dawn hours with some fine British American rock, including some classic tunes from the 1960s. So if you're awake on a Tuesday morning, listen to me, Don Best, 3 to 6 a.m., right here at WHUS, the Sound Alternative.
At the University of Connecticut in Storrs, Connecticut, the Huskies are up by 10, 20-10, with 9 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the first half. Both teams breaking out of their huddles. And the ball will be controlled by Vermont right in front of the scorer's table. Linda Johnson inbounds the ball, and she'll inbound it, and she does so to Linda Ballard. Ballard dribbles across, right side to Doyle. Doyle back to Ballard. And Ballard back to Doyle. Doyle pulls up from 20, jumper hits. And Connecticut's lead is cut by 2 to the score of 20-12. They have an 8-point lead with 9 minutes left in the first half. Susie Stern with some fancy ball handling around the back. Gets around one Vermont player. So Nardoni, her jumper's up and no good. Rebound battle for it. Knocked out of bounds by Robin Doyle. And Connecticut will control the ball. Robin Doyle, a 5'10 junior forward out of Essex, Connecticut, the only Connecticut player on the roster. Sturman inbounds the play underneath to Darlene Hedges, who checked in during that timeout. She gives it out to Nardoni and to the top of the circle for Chris Gedney. Gedney hands it over to Susie Sturman, and Sturman's going to take a shot from 20, and she can't connect. She usually doesn't shoot at all. Ball battled for it, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Heather Bainan. A shot by Susie Sturman from pretty close around the foul line. She never usually pulls up and takes any shots. She usually shoots maybe once a game, or a layup or something like that. Now it's a nice inbound pass to Gedney, but she can't connect. Heather Bainan comes down with the rebound, and Vermont is running. Ballard pulls up and stops, and she's inadvertently tripped by Chris Gedney as she goes down, and that's going to be over the limit for the Huskies. And on the line, shooting the bonus situation will be Linda Ballard. Coming into last night's action, Ballard was 1 for 4 from the line. Last night she was 1 for 2. That makes her 2 for 6 with my quick math mind, and she's shooting at 33% from the foul line. She averages 12 points a game. She is a freshman, the leading scorer, and she gets that first one. Leading scorer until Heather Bainan came in. Bainan connected for 45 points in 2 games for approximately a 17.5-point average. Ballard's second shot, also good, cutting the Huskies' lead to 6. Vermont putting in some token pressure. UConn breaks it pretty easily, and Sturman passes over to Gedney on the right side. Gedney trying to drive down the lane, can't do so, brings it out to Sturman, and Sturman looking around for the open person. Left side to Nardoni. Nardoni looking to drive baseline, gets it over a cross-court pass to Hedges at the high post. She gives to Sturman. Sturman left side to Nardoni, jumper from 20, bang! The Huskies are back up by 8, 22-14. Vermont's ball. Linda Ballard crosses half court. No pressure for her. UConn finally stopped employing that full court pressure. She kicks it. No, she double dribbles the ball. No, she travels the ball with the ball. As the referee signals, finally, signal double dribble, signal a kick, and finally he signals a travel. And Connecticut will take the ball in front of their own basket. In front of their own bench. And checking into the game for the Huskies is number 33, Marlene Stager, in for Beth Vincent. This is Stager's first action of the night. Gedney from 20, long range, no good. Rebound underneath by Darlene Hedges. Her turnaround jumper is no good, but she traveled beforehand. A costly turnover for the Huskies, and Vermont will take the ball underneath the Husky basket. Vermont has the ball. Dribbling it now, Linda Johnson. Right side of Doyle, almost picked off by Stager. Doyle finally gets it back to Johnson. And Johnson to the high post to Lisa Fernandez. She turns around, left side to Ballard. Ballard in the corner. She's getting trapped by 2 Huskies. Can't do a thing with it. Finally sees Johnson open at the top of the key, and she throws up an air ball in her shot. Connecticut's ball out of bounds. And Lisa Fernandez trips, almost getting hurt. But she doesn't do so. Leading 22-14. 7 minutes, 28 seconds to go in the first half. Connecticut's ball, Sturman dribbling it. Pressured by number 10, Alicia Good, who just checked in the game for Linda Ballard. Right side to Gedney. Cross-court pass again to Stager, but it was stolen, and a foul called on the play. Also checking the game is Grace Christie. So for Vermont right now, we have Grace Christie, Alicia Good, Robin Doyle, Lisa Fernandez, and the 6'3 freshman Heather Bainan. For the Huskies, we have Susie Sturman and Linda Nardoni in the backcourt. In the forecourt, Darlene Hedges, Marlene Stager, and Chris Gedney. On the line, shooting the bonus is number 11, Grace Christie. She misses the shot. Christie shooting 660% from the foul line coming into this weekend's action. Long pass down the court for Gedney. Your shot is up and good, and a foul on the play. The basket counts. UConn up by 10. And the 7th team foul for Vermont, but that doesn't matter because Gedney is going to have a chance for a 3-point play. Foul called on the 6'3 freshman center Heather Bainan, her second. Gedney going for the 3-point play. He converts, and the Huskies up by 11. Their largest margin of the evening.
That foul puts both teams up at the limit, so now they'll be shooting 1-1 for every foul.
Alicia Good taking over the playmaking guard spot. Right side to Christie. Christie trying to drive in, but was fouled beforehand. Or was she? Yes, she was. Foul on Linda Nardoni, first, second. And since the team is in the bonus situation, Christie will be shooting. She already missed one shot this evening. Last night she didn't shoot any from the foul line, so her percentage now falls to 50% coming onto the line. Shot is up and no good. It rolls around the rim and won't fall. Rebound falls in the hands of Marlene Stager and Heather Bainan, and there'll be a jump ball on the Vermont side.
That's Darlene Hedges will be in there jumping against Heather Bainan. Those are the two big women out there on the court. Darlene comes in at 6'1" against Heather Bainan, who is 6'3".
UConn should be on a defensive tap, even though their tallest player is jumping. Tap is controlled by the Huskies. Linda Nardoni leading a 3-on-1 break. Right side again. She's going to have a layup up and in. And the Huskies up by 13, 27-14. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the first half. Huskies have just scored 7 points in a row. And Grace Christie has the ball on the right side. She gets it over to in the corner to Robin Doyle. Doyle back out to Christie and around to Heather Bainan, but it's stolen by Darlene Hedges down to Nardoni, but a whistle on the play. We'll see what they're going to call. A Vermont player fell on the play. It was Annette Bergeron, I believe. They're going to call a Connecticut foul on the fast break. That's
unusual.
And the foul's going to be called on Chris Gedney, her second, but they won't be. It looks like they're not shooting. They're taking the ball out in front of the scores table, so there's a little bit of mix-up somewhere. If there was a foul call, she should be on the line. Well, maybe it was an offensive foul. I don't know what they're calling it, but Lisa Fernandez just stepped on the line trying to save the ball from going out, and Connecticut will get possession back of that ball. Very unusual play. On the fast break, Chris Gedney must have inadvertently tripped Lisa Fernandez. And the foul was called on Gedney, but Fernandez was not awarded any shots, even though the Huskies are in the bonus situation, as are the Catamounts. Darlene Hedges' turnaround jumper is no good due to traveling, and Vermont will take the ball the other way.
UConn playing real good team ball. Although Chris Gedney is their top scorer and the man that they look to, they're setting it up real well, giving everybody the ball, and everybody's looking good out there tonight.
6 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first half. The Huskies up by 13, a comfortable margin. And the ball handler is Grace Christie. She gets it in the high post to Lisa Fernandez. She tries to pass underneath, but Darlene Hedges comes up with it, and the Huskies are running 3-on-2 break. Chris Gedney on the right side. She pulls up from the baseline, bang! And the Huskies are up by 15 points with a little bit under 6 minutes to go in the first half.
That's 14 for Gedney so far on tonight.
Grace Christie with the ball on the right side. She passes it down low to Robin Doyle, who tries to drive baseline, but is called for an offensive foul. A nice play by Marlene Stager. She denied Doyle the baseline, and it's going to result in an offensive foul for the Vermont team. For Robin Doyle, that's foul number 1, and the Vermont team is now employing a full-court press. UConn inbounds the ball to Susie Sturman. It's a man-to-man press. Grace Christie putting some pressure on her. Sturman going to the right, looking for Gedney. Gets it to Gedney on the outside, and Gedney's going to drive down and stop the ball and try to get it to Gedney underneath, but it's kicked out of bounds by Lisa Fernandez and will be controlled by Connecticut. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. A pretty good crowd on hand tonight, maybe 300 to 400 so far for this consolation basketball game. In the finals tonight, there will be the Temple Owls facing the Auburn Tigers. Of course, Auburn UConn coming as close as they can in defeating Auburn last night, 76-75 in an overtime thriller. And Auburn wins the chance to go to the championship. Gedney from the right side hits, and Connecticut's up by 17 points. Gedney on the night has 16 points, and I'm sure she's vying for some revengeance from last night. She hit 27 last night, playing a very fine game, but they didn't win. And of course, as all players want, they'd rather have the win than the points. Doyle from the foul line. Her jumper is off the rim and no good. Rebound underneath by Susie Sturman. She loses control, and Doyle comes up with it. 3-on-2 break. Nice play by Darlene Hedges as she kicks the ball on a pass intended for Alicia Good. It goes out of bounds, and Vermont will have the ball. But Hedges with good heads-up defensive play. And a little bit over 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Susie Storrs tried to go through two Vermont defenders instead of around them and lost the ball to Darlene Hedges and managed to get it out of bounds.
Linda Johnson and Linda Ballard checking the game for Vermont for Alicia Good and Grace Christie. And on the inbounds play, Linda Nardoni fouled Heather Bain for her third foul, and Bain will be on the line shooting a 1-and-1.
Two-pointers for UConn now is 3 fouls on the night. Linda Nardoni and Kathy Beauchesne are now both playing with 3, so that's going to hurt them a little bit in the second half when they come back.
She misses a shot. The ball goes off the hands of Darlene Hedges and will remain in Vermont's possession. It's also big in that 2 of them are guards, and UConn is not very deep in guards now that another one of their guards, Beth Conrad, has been out with a sprained ankle. She has not played in a few games. And if UConn's going to be short on guards, they surely don't want to lose Kathy Beauchesne or Linda Nardoni, who their combined averages are up for 24 points. Vermont with the ball underneath. Bergeron shows up a shot rejected nicely by Darlene Hedges. And Vermont will take the ball underneath their own basket. Checking into the game for Linda Nardoni is Beth Vincent.
Darlene Hedges is just a freshman. She's from Center East, New York, but she's definitely showing her potential. She's 6'1" out there. She's strong, and she knows her potential.
Vermont with the ball underneath, taking it out, Robin Doyle. She inbounds it over to Linda Johnson. Johnson out to the top of the key to Ballard. Ballard holding the ball high above her head, passing it back to Johnson, who looks to shoot and does so from 20. She hits, cutting UConn's lead to 15, 31-16. Clock is running with 4.5 minutes left. Connecticut's ball, Susie Sturman. Dribbling with token pressure from Linda Johnson. She crosses half court, left side to Beth Vincent. Vincent looking underneath, gets it to Marlene Stager. Stager looking for a turnaround jumper, but a foul going to be called before she even attempts to shoot. Foul on Robin Doyle, and on the line to shoot will be Stager. For Doyle, that's her second foul of the night. As we said earlier, she's the only Connecticut resident on the Vermont team's roster. Marlene Stager, coming into the weekend's action, was averaging 3.5 points a game and 6.2 rebounds a game. She hits her first foul shot. She averages 52% from the line. Vermont with a substitution. Enter Miss Darlene Powers. Exit Miss Robin Doyle. Powers is a sophomore, 5'7". She's a forward out of Wells River, Vermont. Stager's second shot is also good, and Connecticut makes that lead back up to 17 points. 33-16 with 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first half. Ballard looking to drive. Left side over to Powers. Powers driving the baseline, left side, wide open shot. She puts it up and in. A beautiful play by Powers as she had her player screen from her on a nice pick underneath. Connecticut has the ball in a 15-point lead. Susie Sturman dribbles past a Vermont player and is fouled in the process. Linda Johnson did not like Sturman getting higher and pushed her inadvertently from behind, and Sturman will be on the line shooting the 1-and-1.
With Vermont being so far behind, it's not too smart to play. They can't afford to have UConn get these 1-and-1 shots. Although she wasn't shooting, she's up on the line because of the bonus situation that they have now.
For Johnson, that's foul number 2. And Sturman, who came into the action with a 56% from the line, misses that foul shot. On the rebound, Stager came down with the foul on the hand of Heather Bainan, and Bainan will turn around and shoot the bonus on their end of the court.
That's Stager's first foul on the night.
3 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the first half. On the line, shooting is Heather Bainan. She misses the first one, rebounded by Stager, and outletted to Susie Sturman. It's a 3-on-1 break to number 44, Chris Getty on the right side. She hits it, a foul, call on the play. Sturman to Getty, so give Sturman an assist, give Getty 2 points and a chance for 3 on the foul. A foul called on Linda Ballard, her second of the evening. Connecticut 35, Vermont 18, a 17-point lead. And Getty looking to up it by 18. Double the visitor score. If she puts this in, it'll be 36-18.
That's how many points she has so far in the evening.
And she hits as it rolls around the rim, bounces around, and finally decides to drop. Connecticut Connecticut 36, Vermont 18. We'd like to remind you that last night, Vermont was losing by 20 points at halftime before they came back and only lost by 13, 61 to 48. So Vermont has a chance and has the opportunity they could possibly come back. Ballard with the ball on the right side, but a 3-second violation is called. The ball will go the other way, and the Connecticut Blue will take it.
Chris Gooding got her 27 points this night in overtime. So far tonight, she has 19, so she's looking to beat that total by much if she goes the way she's gone in the second half as she is now.
Beth Vincent travels on the play, and talking about Chris Gedney, Gedney's high happens to be the all-time high for a single game, 30. She did that twice last year versus Seton Hall, and I cannot remember the other team she did it versus, but she could possibly break 30 tonight.
She's on her way, Harold.
If she keeps shooting the way she does. Vermont has the ball stolen by Gedney, and they're going to bring it around the other way. 19 points for Chris Gedney in the first half. It's a runaway so far. She has more points than the whole Vermont team. The score, Connecticut 36, Vermont 18. Vincent on the left side, looking underneath, looking for Hedges at the top of the key. She gives it out to Sturman, around to Gedney, and into the right corner for Marlene Stager. Stager back out to Sturman, underneath the Stager, but she can't control. Vermont will take it the other way.
Susie Sturman's fault. She just threw that right over Marlene Stager's head into the stand.
Checking into the game for Vermont, Lisa Fernandez, and leaving the game is Annette Bourgeois. Another substitution being made, Stephanie LaRoque checking into the game for Darlene Power. So we're seeing almost every Vermont player on their bench. Ballard drives in under congestion, throws up a shot, but there's going to be a foul called. Number 41, Susie Sturman, her first. And on the line for two, Linda Ballard.
Although Vermont's doing a lot of substituting, no one seems to have picked up the pace that Linda Ballard started off shooting hot at the beginning of the game. She's since cooled off, and no one has picked up her pace that she left off with.
Ballard, the southpaw, hits her first one. The only southpaw in the game, I believe. Well, Sturman is a southpaw sometimes. She can shoot both ways. I've seen her connect a little bit easier with the right hand. She dribbles with her left, though, and Ballard hits the second one. Connecticut 36, Vermont 20. A 16-point lead with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the first half. Susie Sturman being called for a carry, and Vermont will take the ball on the turnover. Last night, Connecticut played very well with the turnovers. They only had, as a team, 11 turnovers. They usually have 20 more than that a game. Auburn had 19. We're going to have a timeout on the court right here with 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the first half. The score, Connecticut 36, Vermont 20. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Captain with Space Patrol. But you can never lose. Join me every Saturday afternoon from 12 to 4 for a trip to the psychedelic era. The best and the brightest from a fabulous, fantastic time, the swinging 60s. Every Saturday afternoon on the Sound Alternative. Your Beatles, Beach Boys, Doors, and Yardbirds, Storrs, Grassroots, and more. All at WHUS. Living place back from the 50s. The new training psychedelic comedies radio show Saturday afternoons from 12:30 until 4. Right here on the Sound Alternative, WBB.
How are ya?
2 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Back to live action. Connecticut has the ball on the steal by Darlene Hedges. Beth Vincent laying the ball up and in. And Connecticut goes on top by 18, 38 to 20. Connecticut playing some fine ball here in the first half at Alumni Court in Storrs, Connecticut. Harold Darak along with Nancy Amols. Then the Ballard puts up a shot and cans it, cutting Connecticut's lead back down to 16. But Connecticut has pulled away in the early going and has led this whole game through. Right side to Chris Gedney from Sturman. Back to Sturman. Sturman left side to Vincent. Gedney goes around the pick on the left corner. Jumper, no good. Rebound underneath, Heather Beaton. And she outlets it to a Vermont player, and they're going to be out and running.
That was the first ball Chris Gedney missed in a long time. I haven't seen her miss the field goal in quite a while.
Johnson, right side to Ballard. Ballard underneath to number 14, Lisa Fernandez. Her turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound, Stager, and a whistle on the play. foul, which is going to go against, I believe, Vermont, and number 42, Heather Bain. And if that is true, that'll be her third personal. And they're going to give it to number 14, Elisa Fernandez, and that happens to be her fourth personal. Fernandez is a pretty big player. She averages 6 points a game, which you wouldn't think isn't too much, but for this team, it's a lot. As their leading scorer has about a 17-point average, but she's only played 2 games. Linda Ballard averages 12 tonight. Thus far, she has, I believe, 12 points. Stager on the line. She connects on her first for 1-1.
Vermont can't afford to lose anyone. They don't have much depth coming off the bench, never mind to start. So she's important to the team right now.
Stager hits her second one, and on the night she has 4 points. 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the first half. Vermont's ball. They're down by 18, the largest margin that the Huskies have been able to put up. Ballard dribbling down the right side. Looking for Doyle, but gets it over on the left side to Johnson. Knocked away and out of bounds by Johnson. As a nice hustling play by Beth Vincent created that play, and Connecticut will take control in front of their own bench.
Linda Johnson went down real hard on that play. She got up a little dazed, but she looks to be okay right now.
Connecticut's ball. Susie Sturman, right side to Gedney. Gedney has 19 points tonight. Back out to Sturman, top of the key, and the left side to Vincent. Into the corner for Gedney. Gedney looking to shoot, but she shuffled her feet. Connecticut turnover, and Vermont's ball. Score Connecticut 40, Vermont 22, a minute 21 to go in the first half. Vermont taking the ball out. Linda Johnson. She hands it over to Linda Ballard. And right in front of our bench, Stephen Wolford falls down and breaks 3 bones.
We just lost our favorite jock.
Ballard hands it over to Doyle. Doyle with a shot up underneath, but she's tied up. And there's going to be a jump ball. Nice play by Darlene Hedges, as Hedges and Doyle will go up for this jump ball. A minute 11 to go in the first half. Here's a jump to tap control by Connecticut. Chris Gedney on a breakaway. It's going to be a one-on-one between Gedney and Bainens. Finally, on the right side, Sturman comes up and puts it in, but they're not going to count that basket. They're going to say before she was fouled on the play, they're going to call a foul on Linda Johnson, so no basket. But on the line shooting will be Susie Sturman. Sturman made a nice move on that right side to get around Johnson, but they're not going to call that basket good. They're just going to give Johnson her third foul.
Three Vermont players with, well, no, that's Lisa Fernandez has 4 fouls and Linda Johnson has 3. So second half they're going to be hurting.
And she hits on the first, making the score 41-22. The halftime guest will be Stephen Wolfberg. Nancy Amols will be with him, talking intelligently about sports. And Susie Sturman misses her second one, but there's a tie-up underneath on the rebound. A tie-up between Chris Gedney and, I can't see the number, it's Linda Johnson. Johnson listed at 5'7", Gedney at 5'10", so Connecticut should have the height advantage on this one. Ball goes up, tapped around, Connecticut controls. It's going to be Miriam Langfield, who's just come into the game for the Lady Huskies. Right side to Gedney, underneath for Langfield. Langfield tries to make a nice move, but it's called for travel. That basket would have gone in if she didn't travel beforehand, but the Huskies are up by 19 points, 41-22.
Correction, Harold, I'll be talking intelligently about sports.
That could be true. I know Stephen Wolfberg doesn't know much about anything. 55 seconds to go in the first half. And Vermont stepped on the line as they pass that ball out, and UConn will take control. Susie Sturman looking to get the ball in. She's having some problems. Left side Langfield. She pulls up for a jumper. 20. Bang! UConn up by 21 points. 43-22, almost doubling the score of the Catamounts. 45 seconds to go in half. Ballard with the ball, dribbling around the top of the circle, looking for the right, trying to drive to the right. She pulls up from a jumper and hits. 43-24. UConn's lead by 19. But the story in this first half has been Connecticut's Chris Gedney, who on the evening thus far has 19 points. A few other Huskies have some points. We'll try to get to those halftime unofficial statistics as the buzzer goes off. And during our halftime festivities, Connecticut with the ball. Sturman, right side to Vincent. Vincent dribbling around, trying to get around a Vermont player. Can't do so. Back out to Sturman. A whistle on the play. And a 3-second violation for the Huskies. Vermont will take control of the ball. 14 seconds to go in halftime, and inbounding the ball will be Linda Johnson. Johnson gets to Linda Ballard, and Ballard will be dribbling across the timeline. 10 seconds to go, looking for the last shot. She drives to the left, trying to pass it over, can't do so, gets it to Johnson. Johnson driving to the left, out for a long shot by Ballard. She can't connect, 1 second left, and that's the end of the first half. So, from Alumni Court, a fine first half played by the Connecticut Huskies. The score here in Storrs, Connecticut. Connecticut 43, Vermont 24. We'll be back with some halftime festivities and an interview with Stephen Wolfberg right after this.
With all the racket, we at WHUS Radio, your non-commercial sound alternative, are in the process of renovating our main studio so that we can bring you, our listeners, a better air sound. We are installing brand new, virtually rumble-free turntables to improve the quality of the recorded music that we broadcast. We're also doing many other major improvements. Why? Why do we broadcast in the first place? For you, of course. We exist solely for our listeners, and that certainly includes you. If you'd like to mail in any comments or donations for our studio renovation and air sound, our address is WHUS, Box U-8, Storrs, Connecticut, 06268. And don't forget to tune us in and listen to our improved air sound through 91.7 FM stereo on your dial. Okay, guys, let's go over here.
Go watch the hammer.
Ladies and gentlemen, just crawl back under your satin sheets because it's another Monday in Omaha, which means it's time for Tangled Up in Blues starring...
I know you don't like me, but now things are different. Sometimes even guys like you sing the blues.
The violet, you double dipso white market anti-establishment leaking battery acid creep, who let you in?
Point deficit. They did lose the game, but they still stayed in there and fought last night.
Garvin gets her foul, her second of the night. We'd like to remind you that 18 and a half minutes last night she fouled out. But this time she has only 2 fouls. Johnson connects on her second one. The score, Connecticut 45, Vermont 26. Connecticut's ball, left side, Linda Nardoni. Underneath the Bets Vincent, she fakes up, throws up a duper, no good. Rebound, tapped around, and Vincent comes up with it again. She gives it to Moshe, but beforehand, Zoe travels.
Best Vincent travel. She took a couple steps before she handed over to Kathy Beauchene.
And Vermont will take the ball out right in front of us in their own territory. So Vermont inbounds the ball to Linda Johnson. And Connecticut putting on a half-court trap. Bainin gets the ball right side to Lisa Fernandez. Fernandez holding it high above her head, passing it over to Linda Johnson. Johnson passes in the right corner to Doyle. Doyle back out to Johnson, and Vermont's passing, looking to get the ball underneath to Bain, who's right now playing the high post. Cross-court pass to Ballard. She's guarded pretty closely by Gedney. Back out to Johnson and back to Ballard. Her long jumper is short, and he goes out of bounds. I think it just nicked the rim. It'll be Connecticut's ball.
That wasn't even close, Harold. She took a long outside shot. They probably should have gone in and set it up a little bit more, but she still took it on her own, which probably was a big mistake.
Nardoni's jumper is off. Rebound underneath, tapped around by Vincent and Doyle. It's going to be controlled by Connecticut as the ball goes out of bounds. And taking it out will be Kathy Beauchene. Beauchene laden with foul problems. She only had a few points this first half. She had 2. She was 1 for 3 from the floor. She had 3 fouls and didn't play much at all time-wise. Last night she scored 17 big points. They don't need her thus far this evening. On the inbounds play is going to be a jump ball between the hustling Catamount, number 14, Lisa Fernandez, and Dale Garvin, who can sky. She's listed at 6 feet. Fernandez is listed at 5'9". Connecticut should have an offensive tap with 18 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the game. Tap is up and controlled by no one yet. Finally, 2 people pull it down in another jump ball, this time by Garvin and Doyle. So Robin Doyle this time tangles up with Dale Garvin, but the referee says, no, it wasn't you, Dale. It was instead Beth Vincent. So Vincent, who is definitely shorter, and Doyle will go against her this time for the jump around the Connecticut circle. Ball is up, controlled by the Catamounts, and with the ball, Linda Ballard. Ballard crosses half court, pulls up, stops her dribble far away from the basket, finally gets the pass to Lisa Fernandez, and around to Doyle. Doyle throws up a 20-footer, hits, and Connecticut's lead is cut to 17 points, 45-28. Connecticut's ball. Kathy Bushane dribbling on the right side. Pulls up for 20, and her shot falls short. Rebound tapped around, and goes all the way out to Chris Gedney, and Gedney's going to pull up. Pass it on the right side to Vincent. Vincent on to the top of the key to Bushane, and Bushane back to Vincent. Vincent fakes up, drives around the right lane, and connects with a shot, and a foul, and a whistle. So Vincent is credited with 2 points. He had a chance for a 3-point play. Connecticut 47, Vermont 28, and the foul called on Heather Bainan, her 3rd of the game. The first team foul for Vermont in the second half.
That's a real nice play by Beth. She drove around a couple of Vermont defenders, took a nice play up and managed to even get fouled on the play here for 3-point play.
And she hits the 3-point play. UConn up by a solid 20, 48-28. 18 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the game. Vermont's ball. Linda Ballard dribbling around, playing against UConn's half-court press. Throws it all the way down to Robin Doyle, right side underneath the Bainan. Bainan faking around, going between 2 Huskies, and banks one off for 2. Connecticut 48, Vermont 30. In Connecticut's ball, Kathy Bushane crosses the timeline, dribbling with her left hand, going to her right, stops, pulls up, looks for somebody, gets it to Nardoni. Nardoni far away from the basket, around the 28-foot mark, getting it into the corner to Vincent. Vincent looking around, getting it out to Bushane, and around to the top of the key to Chris Gedney. Gedney drives between 2 Vermont players, loses the ball, gets control, and hits the basket. Point number 24 for Chris Gedney, 6 away from the all-time one-game score that she had set twice last year. We'll keep you informed on that as the game goes along. Connecticut up by 20, 50-30. Linda Johnson with the ball for Vermont. She passes out to Linda Ballard. Ballard holding the ball high above her head, dribbling towards the right. Looking for Doyle, finally gets it underneath the Bainan. Bainan throws up a shot, but it's blocked. And a foul being called on the Connecticut star, Chris Gedney.
Heather Bainan has only scored 2 points today. She just got her first 2 points a couple minutes ago. Last night she had a real good game. She didn't do anything in the first half, and that's really hurting Vermont because they look at her. She's their height, she's their strength, and they really need her input in this game.
On the floor, didn't think she would have much trouble with Heather Bainan. She said before the game that she thought that the Connecticut team, which has been playing very well against the tall players, could keep Bainan away from the boards and away from the ball.
They've done that very well. Plus, she's been injured, and this is only her 3rd game, and that's what also hurting is the inexperience.
Bainan hits both shots, and Connecticut is up by 18 with 17 minutes to go in the game. Connecticut's ball, Bushane, right side again. Gedney underneath to Vincent. Vincent looking to drive, does so, and puts it off the glass for 2. Connecticut back up to 20. And Connecticut not having much trouble with the Vermont defense. I don't think they have any defense. They've let up 70 points a game all year in each game, and they're letting Connecticut run wild here in the second half.
Beth Vincent has 9 points so far, and her average on the year is only 4.3, so she's well above that today.
Doyle, top of the key, misses, rebound pulled down by Gedney. Gedney holding the ball high, finally getting it over to Kathy Bushane, and Bushane's going to walk the ball around. Bushane goes into the forecourt, looking for left. She's driving to the left, gets to Nardoni, left corner, long range jumper, no good. Rebound battle for, knocked out of bounds by Gedney as she tried to get the rebound with Robin Doyle, and Vermont will keep control of the ball.
That's a nice play by Chris Gedney. She tried to steal it, didn't make it, but still got out of bounds, so there's no harm done there.
Linda Ballard is dribbling the ball for Vermont. Dribbles behind her back, goes to her right, trapped by Dale Garvin and Linda Nardoni. She's having some trouble. There's no backcourt call here. She finally throws it behind the backcourt line to Linda Johnson, but there's a whistle on the play and a timeout for the Catamounts. So with 16 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the game, plenty of time. The score of the Connecticut Huskies 52 and the Vermont Catamounts 32. Let's pause for this timeout.
This is Bill Cosby, and I've got a little story for you. It's about kids and work. Back when I was 15, I had this friend named Pat Albert. See, well, Albert wanted to be a garbage collector, but I know that the law says that kids under 16 can't be garbage collectors. Pat Albert, I said, you can find out more about where and when kids can work from the U.S. Labor Department's Wage and Hour Division. It's in the phone book under U.S. Government. This message from me, Bill Cosby, the U.S. Labor Department, and this radio station.
That's right, every Friday afternoon from 3 to 6, you can turn up the music with me, Nick James. I'll bring you rock and roll at its best by playing classic tunes and new cuts from the latest LPs on the rock scene. So every Friday afternoon from 3 to 6, listen to the area's best rock with me, Nick James, on 91.7 FM, WHUS, the Sound Alternative.
Directly following the game, our engineer, who we like to thank tonight, Steve Tech, will be playing some music. He informed us that the first hour is going to be the Beatles, and if you're a Beatles fan, I'm sure Steve's going to play a lot of your favorites. Live action, Connecticut 52, Vermont 32. The ball is controlled by Vermont. Right side with it, number 21, Linda Johnson. Johnson holding the ball high above her head, passing it out to Linda Ballard. And Ballard looking around, getting it back to Johnson. Johnson's going to have a wide open baseline, but she pulls up, getting it to Heather Bainan. Having some trouble with my words there. She throws up a shot, and it's fouled on a play by Chris Gedney. That's foul number 4 for the Connecticut Star, but I'm sure Wanda Flora will not go to her bench because right now Chris Gedney owns 24 points.
Linda Nardone is the one who's going to the bench right now.
And checking into the game is Susie Sturman. But now Marielle Langfield gets up. Will she go in for Chris Gedney? We'll see. And she is going in for Gedney. That's kind of a surprise. Huskies are up by 20. Maybe Coach Flora still is not too sure about this league.
Maybe getting a nice hand from the crowd as she leaves. They know her capabilities.
And she's been playing fine ball all year, averaging about 18 points a game. Bainan hits on the first of 2. Giving her for the game 5 points. Her second shot up, and also good. 6 points for Bainan, an 18-point Connecticut lead, 52-34. And taking the ball, handling chores, is Susie Sturman, which gives Kathy Bouchain the side guard position where she'll probably shoot a little more. And Bouchain has the ball on the left side, jumper from 20, bang! So just as I say, Kathy Bouchain is going to shoot some more, she does so and puts UConn back up by 20. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bouchain going to double figures with Sturman in there. 15 and a half minutes to go in the game. Vermont controls the ball. Linda Ballard dribbling on the left side. Looking around, looking to shoot, doesn't do so. Gets it out to Linda Johnson. Back to Ballard, left side, open shot, jumper off the rim, no good, and controlled by Beth Vincent of the Connecticut Huskies. Vincent's going to run the team all by herself. She gets to the garment at the top of the key. She turns around, jumper, oh, no good. Rebound Ballard for underneath. Goes out of bounds off the hands of Lisa Fernandez and will be controlled by the Huskies underneath their own basket.
Susie Sturman looks like she's throwing a baseball there when she passes the ball. She's got a quick, hard bounce pass that many times goes by the player. She doesn't have a lot of control over it sometimes, but she definitely does look like a pitcher out there.
Susie Sturman also played softball when she used to play. She did not go off the team this year, but Connecticut has the ball underneath the basket, shot up, and a foul on the play as Dale Garver went up with a rebound off a Kathy Bouchain missed shot. And that foul is going to be called on Heather Bainan, her 4th foul. So now the Catamounts are into the foul trouble with Bainan with 4 and Fernandez with 4. And there's still 15 minutes to go in this ballgame.
They've still got 2. They've only got 2 team fouls so far this half, with just over almost 5 minutes played so far.
Bainan is the franchise along with Ballard. Garvin misses her first. Last night, Bainan scored 15 points, as did Robin Doyle. Garvin's second shot falls, and for Garvin on the night, that's point number 3. So Connecticut up by a comfortable 21 points, 55-34, and sitting down will be Heather Bainan and Linda Ballard, and checking into the game will be Grace Christie and Alicia Good. Also sitting down is Linda Johnson, and checking in, the last sub is Annette Bergeron, the co-captain. So both co-captains are in there now with Vermont, getting ready to substitute another player, and checking into the game is Stephanie LaRoque. And we'll see who's going to be going out of the game. Right now there's 6 players on the court. Maybe they want to play with 6-on-5, try to come back against these Huskies. Now one person's leaving, they're all pointing to each other. Who's going to leave? And finally, stepping off the court is Lisa Fernandez. So for the Catamounts, it's Alicia Good, Grace Christie, Stephanie LaRoque, Annette Bergeron, and Robin Doyle. And Christie controls the ball. She passes to the right side to Good. Good back to Christie at the top of the key. Christie looking to dribble, finally puts the ball on the ground once, gives it over to Good. Good now stopped up with the ball. She throws a double dribble. As she dribbled once, picked it up and dribbled again. Maybe there's a new rule in the game, but Connecticut has the ball and a 21-point lead.
6 men and double dribbles, and Vermont looks like to be trying anything, Harold.
They look like
they can get away with.
They're desperate right now. Beth Vincent with the ball. Top of the key to Susie Sturman. Sturman looking around. Bouchain to the left. Bouchain back to Sturman. Sturman uses it as a shoot. She usually runs the show. She gets to Bouchain on the right. Nice head fake. Jumper. Bouchain. Bang! And Bouchain put a pretty move on there. That causes some excitement in the crowd. A head fake and around one from our player and a jumper for 2. Connecticut up by 23. And Bouchain steals the ball again. up by 25 with 14 minutes to go in the game, and they're not letting up any of the pressure. Alicia Good around to Doyle. Doyle into the corner to Christie. Christie looking to shoot. She's all stopped up by Langfield. Back out to Doyle, who's deciding to run the whole show. Left side to Christie. Jumper from 20. Off the rim. No good. Rebound battle for underneath. Off the hands of Annette Bergeron, but she fouled Beth Vincent on the play. And that's going to be the third team foul for the Catamounts.
The scoreboard's got as being Linda Jody's foul.
No, they don't. Number 15 is Annette Bergeron. Checking into the game for the Huskies is Carrie Mansburg in for Dale Garvin. Mansburg played pretty well last night. She has not seen much action tonight. Left side Sturman into the corner to Beauchene. Beauchene looking to dribble around. She can't find any holes. She gets to the Langfield left baseline. She can't hit with her shot. She gets the rebound though. Beautiful hustle by Langfield. And the crowd is going, wow, we have about 400 people here tonight for the first annual Lady Husky Classic. You're listening to the consolation game. The Huskies are up by 25 points. Langfield versus Doyle on the jump. They're both about 5'10", 5'11". Sturman controls for Connecticut. She dribbles up. Nice pass underneath to Mansfield. Assist Sturman. Points for Mansfield. And Connecticut's up by 27 points with 13 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the game. And we'll see when Wanda Ford decides to put in her second string or if they're just going to blow off this Vermont team altogether. I know one thing. Connecticut plays Vermont a little bit later on in the season. And Vermont could take that opportunity. It's going to be February 24th. WHUS will be here bringing you that game at 6 o'clock if you want to put it on your calendar. But Vermont might take that opportunity to come back and take revenge for this pounding the Huskies are giving them tonight.
Well, Kathy Beauchene has done a real good job since she came in for Chris Getty. She's got 6 points for the night so far. She scored 4 of them real fast right after Chris Getty went out.
And one of the reasons for that, though, is because Susie Sturman is the point guard. Beauchene does not get much chance to shoot at the top of the key. When she's pushed over to the wing guard, she has that opportunity on either side. She can hit those 20-footers. Right now, a block by Beauchene on a Grace Christie shot. Connecticut controls with 12 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the game. Sturman dribbling right side. She gets it over to Beth Vincent. Vincent dribbling around, driving down the lane, pulls up, left around to Sturman and over to Kathy Beauchene. Beauchene back to Sturman. Sturman going around the right to Vincent. Kathy Beauchene cutting through underneath. She gets the ball. Jumper from 10, knocked away, rejected nicely by Doyle, but controlled underneath by Langfield, and a foul called on Doyle, and a good hustling play by Langfield. She'll be on the line shooting.
As you remember, nice play with number 35, Robin Doyle for Vermont. She made a nice block. UConn came back and then she ended up fouling him, so it's too bad for that one because she made a good play for it right there for Vermont.
Lisa Fernandez and Heather Bainan checking in the game for Annette Bergeron and Stephanie LaRoque. The Vermont Catamounts are down by 27 points. It's the Connecticut Huskies 61, the Vermont Catamounts 34. Langfield on the line, she connects on the first of 2. That foul was assessed to Bergeron, her second in short time playing. 4 team fouls on each team. And Langfield hits the second one. And Connecticut is killing Vermont 63-34. 12.5 minutes to go in the game, and the only reason it's exciting is because Connecticut is just putting everything they got into this game. They're hustling. They're still playing with intensity, and this game is not really dragging on at all. Doyle with the ball at the top of the key. Left side to Christie. Christie, wide open jumper from 20. She can't hit. No, the ball's bouncing around. It finally goes in. It was on top of the rim, bouncing 2-3 times, and it finally fell. Connecticut 63, Vermont 36. Connecticut's ball. Beauchene from 20. In and out. Rebound underneath by Bainan. She hands it over to Alicia Good, and Vermont's going to bring the ball to the left side. Good still dribbling the ball. Left side over to Christie. Christie holding the ball high. Gets it to Bainan at the top of the key. She's the pivot man, but there's going to be a foul called on Susie Sturman as Bainan turned around to look underneath for any wide open players. The 15 foul on the Huskies. And we're going to see who they're going to give this foul to. The scoreboard, yes, it is Susie Sturman. Her second foul. They mistakenly threw up number 25, Carrie Mansburg, by mistake.
UConn's got a total team effort out there. They're looking good. They're passing well. Everybody's got their input in this half. They're psyched because they're so far ahead. They know they've got this game, and now it's just showing how well they can play.
And they are playing very well. Grace Christie with the ball at the top of the circle. This could be the turning point of the season. They played well against Auburn. Nice play underneath. Alicia Good turning around to shoot. And a beautiful rejection by Muriel Langfield. They're going to call it a jump ball since she was up there that long. There's going to be a jump ball around the Vermont side. As I was saying, they played fantastic versus Auburn last night. Great intensity, great game tonight. They're just rolling over a sub-team to the UConn Huskies Vermont. And if they can just keep this momentum playing a tough UMass team this week, it's Wednesday at Springfield, this could be the momentum they need for the rest of the season.
Well, they're coming off 3 losses here, so they're hungry for a win. They look good tonight. They know they have potential. They know what they have, and they're getting back in their form tonight.
They are hungry for a win. Cassie Machine, right side, jumper in and out. Rebound battle for underneath. They're going to call a foul on Miriam Langfield on the rebound. And it's going to be the 16th foul, her first of the game, so one more and the Huskies will be over the limit. 11-11 left to go.
Baden went down hard on that foul.
She has 4 fouls herself, Baden.
Miriam Langfield really gave her a nice elbow.
We haven't seen much of the UConn bench tonight. We're on the floor just pouring it on, and she said she would do so. Rhonda was pretty upset herself, and she said she wanted to take it out on this Vermont team, and believe me, she is. Left side, Christie driving the baseline, her shot's up. No good. There's a battle on the right side. He goes out of bounds. Last touch by Vermont, and the ball will go to the Connecticut Blue.
Well, Rhonda's not putting her bench because these are her top players, and they haven't been playing well lately. So she wants to see what they can do together because they've still got a long season ahead of them, and so she just wants to give them playing time and time to look good out there to gain some confidence because they have been, their egos do need a little boost.
Sherman, beautiful play to Langfield underneath, and she connects with the layup. Sherman drove down the left lane, saw Langfield wide open, gives Susie another assist. And she's playing her top ball of the year. So far this first half, she has 6 assists. And right there, I think she had 2 more in the second half, so Susie's playing a fine game. At the half, O'Shea also had 5 assists, so UConn's playing a team game altogether.
Miriam Langfield has 6 points. She averages usually 1 point a game. Doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, so she's looking good tonight also.
She only plays approximately 8 minutes a game, so she's getting her chance. And finally, UConn's going to go to their bench. They're going to come out with Leslie Waugh coming in for Beth Vincent. So Waugh seeing her first action in a long time. She averages 1 point a game. She's played in 4 games and has scored 4 points. And has 4 rebounds. So everything is 4 across the board. Ron and Beauchene in the backcourt along with Susie Sermon. Doyle on the line, shooting 2. She misses her first. That foul is credited to Miriam Langfield. That's foul number 2. The Huskies are now over the limit with 10.5 left. That only shows one thing, is they're still hustling and taking chances and going after the ball. Doyle misses her second, and Huskies are running. Sturman, left side, Rollins right down the middle. She drives all the way up, misses the layup. Rebound underneath by Langfield. Her shot is partially blocked, but there's a foul called, and this is still a rough game on the court.
Vermont's getting a little frustrated. They're getting more physical, which tends to happen often. You get down by so much, you start fouling people because you're so desperate to get to that guard. Vermont doesn't seem to be doing too much right. Their percentage from the free throw line is lousy. The field goal is, I can't remember last time they scored a point.
They're not playing very good ball. Right there, Lisa Fernandez picked up foul number 5. She's the 5'9" junior forward out of Northfield, Vermont, who is averaging 6 points a game. She's out on fouls with 10:18 to go. UConn controls the ball underneath their own basket. Right side, Langfield, jumper up, no good. Rebound, battle for it, knocked out of bounds by post Carrie Mansberg. And the number 32 checked in the game, Sandra Jones. She's the first time she's come into the game. She replaced Fernandez. Jones is a 5'7" freshman guard out of Northampton, New Hampshire, and she'll be jumping up against Mansberg. Tap controlled by Vermont, but as the ball went right onto the ground, as Ballard couldn't control it, and jumping on it again was Carrie Mansberg in a good hustling play, but Ballard is kind of limping around. She hurt what looks and appears to be her left knee. Don't give her the jump play, they instead give it to Sandra Jones again. So they're going to re-jump between Jones and Mansberg. I thought that ball was Linda Ballard's, but my mistake. And the jump is up, and this time controlled by Connecticut. Susie Sermon, left side to Beauchene, jumper from 20, bang! 67-37, and UConn opens their lead to 30 points, their largest margin of the game, 10 minutes to go. And Linda Ballard controls the ball for Vermont. Vermont really not playing much ball at all. That ball knocked out of bounds there by Cassie Boucher, controlled again by Vermont. But this is a pretty much a good game for Vermont considering the games they've played before. They've played New Hampshire, they lost 82-39. They played Boston University, they lost 76-32, and they played Massachusetts and lost 79-42. This game, they're only out by 30. I think it's the presence of Heather Baden, and I think it's progress. Connecticut's ball, 30-point lead, 9 minutes and 41 seconds to go. Susie Sturman dribbling around. She almost loses control of it, picks it back up again, and gets a pass to Leslie Wall on the right side. We'll see if Wall can score, bring her average up. She throws a pass in the corner for Langfield, who cannot handle it. It goes out of bounds, and the Vermont yellow and green will take it over.
Lisa Fernandez finished off this game with 4 points. She's the second leading scorer for UVM, so that says something about the game right there in itself, Harold.
Left side, Linda Johnson pulls up, passes underneath the Baden, and she hits her shot. Heather Baden puts in for 2. For her this evening, she has 8 points on the night, but she has been held to almost nothing. Susie Sturman making a poor play there. She double dribbled. And the ball will go to Vermont again. They have a chance to close within 26 if they can connect for 2. Checking into the game, number 24, Beth Conrad, who's been out with a sore ankle, and checking out Cassie Moshe. Moshe leaves with 8 points on some stellar work from the right wing. Johnson with the ball for Vermont. Out to Ballard. Ballard gets the ball stolen by Sturman. Left side to Conrad. Conrad, the pass from Sturman was a little bit out of reach of Conrad, but she gets the ball again, throws up a layup from the left baseline and misses, and Vermont controls. Conrad on a sore and tender ankle. The pass a little bit ahead of her from Sturman, and Vermont takes control of the ball. Ballard puts in a jumper, and she's the leading scorer for Vermont. She has right now 11 points, the only double-figured person for the Vermont Catamounts. Underneath the Langfield. Langfield travels. So the ball will go the other way. And in the lineup for the UConn Huskies are 3 freshmen, Leslie Waugh, Beth Conrad, and Miriam Langfield. Also a sophomore, Carrie Mansberg, and another sophomore, Susie Sturman.
So they don't have any of their today's starters in there. They're all on the bench having a rest after playing a real good game so far.
A weird play. Vermont let the ball roll all the way to half court. Beth Conrad went out to make the steal, and there was a foul called on Conrad. Her first, and on the line shooting will be Linda Johnson shooting the bonus. She fell on the play as Conrad dove for the ball, and Johnson tripped over her. The Huskies are up 67-41. That is a 24-point lead. What's wrong with my math? 26 points. There we go. And Johnson hits that first one, making it 25. The consolation game of the first annual Lady Husky Classic, Connecticut versus Vermont. The championship game tonight, Temple versus Auburn. Johnson hit that second shot, 67-43. Before the tournament, Wanda Flores said the game of the tournament would be Connecticut-Auburn. That thus far has proved to be true, as Connecticut and Auburn played to overtime last night. Connecticut losing 76-75, but Auburn and Temple still have to tangle. Leslie Waugh hits on her 2 points. For her, that's point number 6 of the season, and that's going to boost her average a little. 69-43, 8 minutes to go in the game. Right side, Darlene Powers, who checked in the game, tries to pass it in the middle, stolen by Sturman, and a foul called on 32, Sandra Jones. So for Vermont, in the lineup, Sandra Jones, Darlene Powers, Heather Baden, Linda Ballard, and I can't pick out the other number. It looks like 33, there it is, Dana Gray. Gray is a freshman out of Derby Lake, Vermont. She's a 5'8" forward. Leslie Waugh with the ball on the right side, pulls up, gives it to Langfield at the baseline. Long jumper, no good. Rebound tapped out from Beth Conrad. A nice play. Scramble for it on the floor, and picking it up is Langfield over to Sturman underneath Mansberg, but a carry called on Sturman. The UConn Huskies are not giving up here. They're just hustling the ball around. They have a 26-point lead, and they want to make it 36. 7:43 to go in the game. Connecticut 69, Vermont 43. Top of the key with the ball, Dina Gray. Left side over to Darlene Powers. Underneath, a foul called as Powers tries to drive. It's on Miriam Langfield.
Is that her second or third here?
I think that's foul number 3, as indicated by the scoreboard.
UConn's the highest point scored so far this season has been 81. They're well on the way to topping that tonight. They've got 69 so far with over 7 minutes left, so they may just top that tonight. That was in the 81-69 win over Duke.
Shot by Powers. First one goes in. Checking into the game, some unfamiliar faces, or everyone now is almost unfamiliar from the regular players. Happy Curley checks in from Marion Lakefield, and that UConn bench is up and really psyched up still. They want to blow this team off, even though they're giving the second stringers a little chance to play. Powers misses the second one, rebound, battle for way outside. Powers tries to save it. She jumps on the ground, goes out of bounds, and Connecticut will control the ball. We'd like to remind you some upcoming sports on the Sound Alternative. Hockey this Tuesday, Andy Young will be at the Storrs Ice Hockey Rink to bring you UConn Ice Hockey versus Babson. That game starts at 7:30, airtime 7:25. This Wednesday, the UConn men's basketball team will be playing in New Haven, which was earlier scheduled to be the opening of the Hartford Civic Center for the Huskies. That game will start at 8 o'clock versus the hard-playing team of Providence in the Big East tussle. Connecticut loses the ball as Leslie Wall fouls, and Vermont controls it. Another hockey game next Friday versus Salem State in Storrs. Andy Young again will be there. And that game starts at 7:30, airtime 7:25.
Andy's everywhere.
Andy's always everywhere. Powers left side jumper, no good. Rebound battle for underneath, and a travel call by Carrie Mansberg. And unfortunately, Darlene Hedges is now checking into the game. We'll see who she's going to check into. But unfortunate for Chris Kennedy, she has remained out of the game. She does not have a chance to up that point total. She has 24. Hedges comes in the game for Mansberg, but Kennedy had 24 points, looking to be the all-time one-game scorer for the Huskies. But Wanda Flora does have something for the Vermont Catamounts. They can't keep Kennedy in there all the time.
Well, that's purely unselfish for Wanda Flora. She wants to give everybody as much as she can on the team for playing time. Chris Kennedy, she's in there. She makes things happen as she was doing all throughout the game. But now they've got some newcomer players who don't get a lot of playing time otherwise for us.
Ballard out to 32 with Sandra Jones. She drives and scores. And it's the Huskies 69, the Catamounts 46, a 23-point lead. And Vermont is coming back
Slowly.
Storman's pass to Curley is knocked out of bounds by Vermont, and Connecticut will keep control of the ball. This women's basketball broadcast will be January 30th. That's 11 days. They'll be playing St. John's here in Storrs. They're going to go out on a little road trip to see Massachusetts, and a few other teams are going to be playing Massachusetts at Springfield, and they come back to play Northeastern next Saturday. But of course, UConn versus Syracuse, the big game and big battle at 3:30, will be covered by WHUS instead. Syracuse getting off by Old Dominion 68-67. They were the third-ranked team in the country. Connecticut shot off, and Vermont controls the rebound. Sandra Jones dribbling on the left side. She passes it over to Tina Gray. Her shot's up, no good. Rebounded by Hedges. There should be a foul call, and there is on Darlene Powers, the 5'7" sophomore out of Wells River, Vermont. That's foul number 7 there, now over the limit, and she should be on the line shooting.
There's a pretty good-sized crowd here tonight. That can only help UConn. They're not used to having so many people coming out. It's probably because there's a tournament. And having a crowd, hearing a lot of people behind you definitely can psych you up. Last night, UConn, the crowd definitely was going for them, and it didn't quite make it. But tonight, knowing that they're so far ahead and hearing them definitely is a boost to it.
Well, we have a timeout on the court, so let's pause for 30 seconds. With the score of the Connecticut Huskies 69, the Vermont Catamounts 46. We'll be back right after this.
With all the racket, we at WHUS Radio, your non-commercial sound alternative, are in the process of renovating our main studio so that we can bring you, our listeners, a better air sound. We are installing brand new virtually rumble-free turntables to improve the quality of the recorded music that we broadcast, and also doing many other major improvements. Why? Why do we broadcast in the first place? For you, of course. We exist solely for our listeners, and that certainly includes you. If you'd like to mail in any comments or donations for our studio renovation and air sound, our address is WHUS, Box U-8, Storrs, Connecticut, 06268. And don't forget to tune us in and listen to our improved air sound. We're 91.7 FM stereo on your dial. Okay, guys, let's get working here.
Hey, watch the hammer. Harold Darak along with Nancy Amols from Alumni Court in a complete runaway. Connecticut 69, Vermont 46. 6.5 minutes to go in the game, and Hedges is on the line shooting the bonus. She misses the first shot. Vermont comes down with the rebound. Connecticut has all second-string players in the game except for Susie Sturman, who sometimes starts. She's a spot starter. And they're all unfamiliar faces to most of us, at least in game situations. Right now, Stephanie LeClerc throws up a jumper from 10 for Vermont. She is cutting Connecticut's lead to 21. In the game for the Huskies in the backcourt, it's Sturman and Leslie Waugh, along with Beth Conrad. In the forecourt, Darlene Hedges, who had a lot of playing time last night, and Kathy Curley. Left side in the corner underneath to Leslie Waugh. Jumper up and good. Waugh connects on her 4th point of the game. That's what she had all season coming into tonight, so she doubles her output. Connecticut 71 to Vermont 48. Vermont's ball. Left side, Stephanie Loroque. Loroque out to Christie, the co-captain of the team who didn't start. Back to Loroque in the left corner. Jumper up and no good. Rebound battle for underneath. Cassie Curley comes up with it. Over to Susie Sturman, and the Connecticut Huskies will be running. Sturman crosses half court. Looking around, trying to go down the middle. Curley on the right side. Jumper from 15. Bang! It's good and a foul. Connecticut pouring it on. It's 73 to 48. Curley has a chance for a 3-point play. The second foul obtained by Darlene Powers. And the Connecticut bench is still up and cheering. They really wanted this one bad after that 1-point loss to Auburn. Curley hits the 3-pointer, and for Curley, who came in the game with only 2 points, she has scored over her output from last season. She had a 2-point average in playing 1 game. Now she's played 2 games and has 5 points, so she brought her average up to 2.5 points. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Connecticut, and Vermont will keep control underneath their own basket. For Vermont, there's Powers, Bain, and LaRoque. Powers, I said Powers already, I meant Doyle, and I can't see the last one. It's going to be Christie. Christie jumper from 15, no good, underneath. Battle for a foul on the play. Beforehand to Kathy Curley. She fouled Heather Bain, and Bain, or is it going to be Doyle? Doyle will go on to the line and made a little mistake there. Doyle will be on the line shooting the bonus. For Curley, it's her first foul. 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game.
Susie Sturman was good up there. She's directly faster. They got a young team up there now. None of them are starters except for her when she is a spot starter. She's just helping them get organized out there.
Bain hits her first. Oh, excuse me, Doyle. I keep thinking Bain. I don't know why. How many is Bain in half tonight anyway?
5. 5 points so far tonight.
She has been held. Last night she scored 15. Doyle hits again, giving her 6 points, and last night she hit for 15. So the story tonight for Vermont, if you could call it much of a story, is Linda Ballard. Unofficially, she has 12. Susie Sturman, Connecticut's ball. Driving to their left. Looking around. Pressure. Tough pressure by Christie. And an offensive foul called on Sturman. She tries driving on Powers. Sturman just looks up and laughs. That's her 3rd foul. 7, or over 7 on the team. Should be the bonus situation, but since it's an offensive foul, they will not be shooting. 4:51 to go. UConn a 24-point lead, 74 to 50. At the high post, Darlene Powers passes low to Bain off the hands of Bain as Curley makes a nice defensive play to keep Bain away from the ball, and Connecticut will have the ball in a full court press, looking right at them from the Catamounts. Conrad holding the ball. She gets to Sturman, who's the best ball handler on the team. Sturman drives down to the left, looking for Hedges. Pulls it out, slows it up, and goes to the left side to Leslie Waugh. Waugh with 4 points on the night, throws up a jumper. She can't connect, rebound underneath. And Hedges comes up with it. The ball's crossing the rim and falls in. 76 to 50 for Hedges. She has 2 points on the night. That's her first bucket. Last night she played a very fine game and scored a few more points than tonight. For the totals for Hedges, she has 6 points. Right now there's a basket connected by Susie Sturman. Her first 2 points on a nice layup, 78 to 50. Sturman getting 2 points. And Vermont with the ball knocked away by Connecticut. The ball's on the ground, and Connecticut and Vermont are tangled up with it. And there'll be a jump ball around the Vermont area.
Susie Sturman made a great steal. She took that ball the whole way down the court, beat one Vermont player, went straight and made a nice layup. It was a good play by Susie Sturman.
UConn 78, UV 50. 28-point lead. Last night, Vermont lost to Temple, 61 to 48. Temple and Auburn in the championship game, which will start at 9 o'clock. Right now, it's 8:45. So it might start a little bit later if you want to come and catch that action. Darlene Powers underneath, the turnaround jumper's good. 78 to 52.
You got to get Vermont a lot of credit. They're pretty far behind. They're 26 points behind, but they're not giving up. They're staying there. They're having full court presses, and they're certainly showing that they're a determined team.
Leslie Waugh from 20, and out. Rebound underneath Vermont, and is Darlene Powers with the ball. Whistle on the play. Powers travel. Entering the game, Annette Bergeron. Leaving the game, Heather Bainan. Bainan, who could be finished for the night, is so far finished with 8 points.
She's got 4 fouls on her, so she only had 1 foul. She had 3 fouls in the first half, fouled 1 more time. So she's been putting a little bit of pressure on her in the second half.
Vermont has played almost everybody from the bench. The only one I haven't seen in there was 40, Catherine Rudden. Otherwise, everyone else has been playing. Conrad with the ball. She gets tangled up by Grace Christie, and there'll be a jump ball around the Connecticut area.
I believe UConn has played everybody from the bench. They've got 14 people listed on the roster, and I've got 14 people listed as playing field. So they're going, they're using their depth, and they're showing that the second team can do stuff when they're out there.
Everybody has played for the Huskies. And there's a jump ball, and it's going to be controlled by Vermont. Breaking away is Stephanie LaRocque ahead of the field, and she connects on the layup. Connecticut cutting UConn's lead down to 24 points, 78 to 54. Conrad slows the ball up, dribbles around, takes her time in crossing half court. Remember, the UConn women's team cannot hold up and make the 4 corners press. There's a 30-second clock in women's basketball. Hedges drives towards the hoop and is fouled on a nice play. She powered her way in over Darlene Powers, but Powers fouled her in with her 3rd foul, and Hedges will be on the line shooting, which will be a 2-shot foul.
I think Vermont was looking for an offensive foul there. Hedges went in hard, and they kind of looked to the referee, but it ended up being a UVM foul.
So Vermont with 54 points, their most of the game of the year has been 61. What did I say? I said 54 points. The most has been 61, so they're 7 points away from their season high. Hedges hits her first, and Hedges hits her second. Beautiful foul shooting by Darlene Hedges on the night, 4 points. 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Connecticut 80, Vermont is 54. Connecticut's high of the season has been 81 points. They're going for that with 1 more field goal. We'll see if they'll get it. Stephanie LaRocque, cross-court pass underneath of Sandra Jones. She puts up a head fake pass. A shot blocked by Kathy Curley. Rebounded by Christie. Her jumper's up and no good. Rebound. Leslie Wall for the Connecticut team.
Darlene Hedges is one of UConn's better free throw shooters. She's got 75%, made 12 for 16 so far. Now she's 14 for 18, having 2 for 2 tonight. So she's definitely, they need her up there at that line.
Wall was called for travel. Vermont takes control of the ball. Alicia Good, left side to Sandra Jones. Her jumper's up and good. Good, I guess. Beth Conrad, left side. Dribbling around, 2:23 to go in the game. Everything is academic from here. Just points added on to your average. Leslie Wall makes a pretty move. Can't connect. Curley underneath. She puts it up and in. For Kathy Curley, that's point number 5, her season high and her career high since she's only a freshman. Connecticut 82, Vermont 56. Connecticut has scored the most points ever in one game tonight versus the Vermont Catamounts. They are really taking it out on this team. Sandra Jones dribbling it around, getting it over the left side to LaRocque. LaRocque jumper, no good, off the iron. Hedges with the rebound. Long pass down court to Conrad. 3-on-2 break. Conrad takes it left side to Leslie Wall. Off the boards, good! Connecticut 84, Vermont 56 for Leslie Wall. That's point number 6 in her season and career high. And the substitutes are getting some points here in the late going of the consolation game of the first classic that the Lady Huskies have put on. It's 84 to 56. Vermont's ball underneath their own basket. And Vermont will take it out.
This is one of UConn's highest scoring games for both teams. North Carolina beat them 84 to 54. Now they're winning 84-56. Their highest scoring game, and at that time with how they were beaten.
Storming down, trying to get it to Beth Conrad, but a beautiful steal by Annette Bergeron prevented the 2 points for the Huskies. 1 minute and 10 left to go in the game. Both teams just playing around. You think one team would be going through the motions, but both teams are looking to score. And into the game for the Catamounts is 21, Linda Johnson, and exiting is Darlene Powers.
When you're hot, you're hot. UConn really is hot tonight. They looked good last night. They came back. They could have given up a little bit, but they gave a real good performance tonight. Probably one of their best of the season so far.
In the first half, they shot a torrid 58% from the field and 78% from the foul line. They came out to play this evening. Connecticut's ball, right side, Kathy Curley in the corner underneath the hedges, knocked away and stolen by Vermont. Vermont trying to get the ball up court, stolen back by UConn, and Leslie Wall has it. And they're going to have an offensive foul as she elbowed Alicia Good, trying to get around her. But Leslie Wall looking good out there in her little playing time tonight. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's one Husky that's been playing bad this evening.
They've all looked good. They're ahead by a lot. They feel free to do what they want and feel free to try what they have to tonight.
Alicia Good, top of the key, left side to Johnson. Johnson drives baseline, rejected. Beautiful play by Darlene Hedges as she rejected that one. She had 2 block shots in the first half, and I'm sure 2 or maybe 3. And everyone's just adding to their averages with 41 seconds to go. Inbounds pass to Jones, blocked away. Rebounded by LaRoque. LaRoque's jumper up, no good. Rebound Sturman. She gets it way in front of the field. But Beth Conrad, the breakaway, layup up and no good. Leslie Waugh missed out when Vermont came down with a rebound and a whistle on the play, and there's going to be a foul attained to Darlene Hedges, and it'll be bonus situation fouls shooting on the other line of the court. 84 to 56, 28 seconds to go.
Darlene Hedges just had 2 more block shots in that past play. Unfortunately, went to Vermont, but she's UConn's big man, and she's doing her job out there. She's got putting a lot of pressure on the Vermont players, and she's doing what she has to.
UConn up by a comfortable margin, 28 points. On the line shooting, Alicia Good. She connects on her first one. 28 seconds left, 27-point lead. Good misses the second one, rebound Hedges. Hedges battle for it with 2 Catamounts, and it's stolen nicely by Johnson. She puts it up and in, cutting Connecticut's lead to 25 with 19 seconds left and the clock running. Sturman gets the inbounds pass. She's running the ball across half court. Connecticut looking to score a little more. Almost stolen. Sturman regains control. Layup up. No good in the foul on the play. 10 seconds to go in this really unexciting contest, except for the fact that Connecticut is winning by such a big margin. Poorly played game for Vermont. I just think the talent's not there. Connecticut really showing everyone around what stuff they have.
They showed a lot of poise out there tonight. That follows on number 15, Annette Bergeron for Vermont. That was their third.
Sturman misses the foul shot. She's kind of upset. She says, hey, I want to score some points here. Get my average up. I only have 2 tonight.
She's got 3.
Excuse me. Sturman with 3 points, looking for 4, and she misses. Rebound underneath. Battle around. Vermont comes up with it. Linda Johnson, 6 seconds, and it's stolen around. Stolen back by Vermont. Johnson went 2-1, and a shot at the buzzer is missed. And that's the end of the game. So, the final score from Alumni Court here at the University of Connecticut, the UConn Huskies 84, the Vermont Catamounts 59. We'll be back with the wrap-up right after this.
Get funky, get mellow, get down with the sounds of the disco tigers. You now have the pleasure of experiencing funky soul and mellow rhythm and blues every Friday night from 11 p.m. until 3 in the a.m. Treat yourself to the sounds of the one and only disco tiger and experience the outstanding sounds of the soul master himself. Check him out. I know I do.
Harold Darak along with Nancy Amols